Welcome back to Les Schwab Tire Center's Outdoor GPS, presented by Fisherman's Marine and Outdoor.
Welcome back, everyone. We're joined by Shane Magnuson. He is the owner-operator of Upper Columbia Guide Service. Typically, we talk to Shane somewhere when he's in the Columbia River Gorge. This morning, he's down at the mouth of the Rogue chasing fall Chinook with one of his friends from California, apparently, which don't hold anything against him for that. No, I'm kidding. All right, so you mentioned that obviously there's a lot of folks that are out there. It's a very popular fishery for a number of reasons, but it's low tide. What's the MO down there? Are you waiting for that tide change to switch to an income? What is it that is beneficial there?
You know, it's just like we see a lot of places. Oh, we got a fish on here next to us. Just like we see a lot of places where you see those tide changes and the bite starts to snap on and off. But as far as location, we're going to stay in the same area. There's a kind of a little south channel ditch, and then there's a main ditch on the north jetty, which is only about 150 yards apart. Mm-hmm. And you just work back and forth both those trenches, and these fish are coming on and off bites.
Is it a grassy area? Does it get pretty nasty on the rods, or is it pretty clean?
You know, when we're in less than 7 foot of water, we're catching grass. But it seems like when we're out here in the 10-foot stuff, we're nice and clean and things are fishing.
It just kind of reminds me a little bit of that memaloose type of fishery where it's shallow water, you know, might get a little deep in spots here and there, waiting for that tide change. But that area that you're in, Shane, is very well known for fall Chinook that are into the 30s. Not a ton of them, but certainly something that we don't typically see on the Columbia much anymore.
Yeah.
Have you heard of fish like that being caught yet this year down there?
Yeah, they especially early in the season here a couple of weeks ago, it sounds like it was a lot of real big fish around. And they were catching them up even into the 40 range.
Oh, my goodness. I haven't seen one of those in a long time, man. I don't even know what I'd do. It's been a while.
I know. That's a good fish.
Because typically, you know, when we're talking this time of year, Shane and myself, we're talking about fall Chinook on the Columbia, a number of different reasons. As a matter of fact, in the commercial break, I was picking his brain. There's a spot we like to spend time at. I'm like, you think I should spend time there? Absolutely. It's that time of year, right? Well, that's that time of year for you. When you make your way back up north, you get back onto your river, the Columbia, what's your next plan? What's your next steps?
You know, I fished Drano here a couple days ago, and there was already fish in it. And then I've had some friends at the mouth of the Big White Salmon that have been doing pretty well, too. So we'll start between those two spots at least into the first part of September. And then as the middle of September comes out, we may migrate up to the mouth of the Klickitat. That's always one of my favorites. So that's going to be my routine here the next here 2 or 3 days once I get back home.
Okay, so you're going to stick around, you know, basically your backyard, right? Above Bonneville, below the Klickitat, and kind of pick your way between some of those cold water fisheries?
Yep, exactly. And with this cooler weather, the Columbia should start cooling back down just a little bit so those fish can spread out instead of being so kegged into just a couple fisheries. And that'll be nice, too.
Yeah, definitely. And you'll probably be fishing very similar to the way you are now, aren't you?
Absolutely, yeah. No, a lot of spinners, a few spin fish. I don't pull much bait up there, but yeah, definitely real similar.
Would you now? You opened up the can, dude. I got to go that way. An anchovy behind a Pro Troll, behind an Evolution, behind Short Bus 360. I mean, there's a number of different baits that we can fish these days. It's like we've really kind of migrated to lots of different options. Would you say an anchovy spinner, like what you're fishing down there, would that be something you'd have any confidence in the Columbia this time of year, or is that just a waste of time? Just leave it for down there.
Absolutely. You know, I watching the way Brian's rigging these with his hook set up, a tight spin on them behind a favorite spinner blade, and this is definitely something I want to play with a little bit more up on the Columbia. Not only for our fall fish, but maybe even next year for springers.
See, now you're reading my mind, because there's so many people. You know,
I'm thinking ahead.
People are thinking the same thing. You know, right? You know, warm water. You know, 70 degrees. You don't want bait. It's not that they won't eat bait. It's easier to not use bait. But they'll certainly eat an anchovy if you presented it the right way this time of year, right?
Absolutely, absolutely, and they'll clobber those things. They love them.
Now, I have to throw this in just because I'm an Edge guy. They're a sponsor here at Outdoor GPS. What rods are you fishing with down there? And is there one that you're having with those 360 Pros that are now available from Edge? Is there any one that you have really fallen in love with over another?
Yeah, so I noticed he's fishing a lot of the 1064s with lighter leads, and I think that's that one over there is a 925. It's a little shorter and stiffer rod for running 16 ounces in this tight crowd, and they seem to be fishing really well. I run a lot of the 924s and 1065s as far as my front and back rods go, so a lot of the same stuff. But he's liking the shorter, stiffer ones, just because we're in a crowd and fishing heavy leads and trying to keep fish close to the boat.
Okay, makes sense. That's what I've been running is the 924, the rod that I have. I'm an absolute huge fan of that, especially when I can actually put it in front of a fish and maybe get bit. But that's got nothing to do with the rod, everyone. All right, so Shane, when you do get back up here, obviously I always want to make sure if there's a way that we can help others get out on the water and do some fishing with you. What's your schedule like? Are you packed up? Any room going through September up above Bonneville at all?
Yeah, so you know, I have a few seats that are trickled in there between September and early October, and my other boat I work with has quite a few seats available. So we'd love to get those filled up with you guys, and we've got a great fall season ahead of us. Yeah,
I mean, obviously there's a lot left to look forward to on the Columbia. It all depends on opening and closing and all this and everything else, everyone that you're aware of. But there are some great opportunities going forward through September and into October up high on the Columbia system, and Shane will be right in the middle of it. Shane, you know, I've been stretching a little bit because I want to see one of those rods bury. We all like seeing an Edge rod bury, right? I mean, that's just that simple. But
I've seen about 3 fish caught since we've been on here, just kind of back and forth. I'm going, it's our turn.
I know. It's going to happen right when we hang up with them, everyone. It's just that simple. But Shane, thanks for on a vacation day. For a guide, he's fishing. You know, that just goes to show you how fun it can be for everyone. But we appreciate you spending some time sharing some info with us, Shane. We appreciate that, man.
Very welcome. Thank you, guys.
You bet. Take care. Safe travels, all right?
All right.
Take care, bud. That's Shane Magnuson, everyone. Again, owner-operator of Upper Columbia Guide Service down, fishing the Rogue, the mouth of the Rogue, that is, chasing fall Chinook. It just looks cool. Yeah, it's a little bit crowded, but as long as everybody plays nice in the sandbox, you're going to have a ton of fun, right? All right, we're going to cut to a quick break. When we come back, we're going to have your deal of the week for Fisherman's Marine. And if you're looking for something to get out on the water, right, you want to play water sports, trust me, this is one you want to pay attention to. We'll be right back with that in just a couple minutes.